connect your new work, your new book, with employee engagement and, how leaders can address that. I'm not saying it's broken, but, maybe there's a way to make it work better than it's working.
Yeah, and that's really what that came down to when I had no desire to write another book. I had no desire to research another book. And then I was just hearing there was a disconnect between what leaders were putting out there and what teams were actually wanting from their leadership. And that's really what drew the entire book and created the outline for it. Because I think in where we are right now, we oftentimes, there's so much thought leadership around leadership. And sometimes it's like a mile down the road from where we need to start. And so what I realized, that I actually did my own proprietary study for this one.
Wait a minute. Thought leadership about leadership. It sounds so academic and so conceptual.
Yeah. Well, so it's not.
No. You're saying you noticed that what was out there was,
yes,
that.
It was so, and I love so many of these thought leaders, and there are leaders who are capable of really implementing what they're talking about, whether we're talking about vulnerability or shame or authenticity on that higher level. And there are leaders who are capable of doing all of those things. But what I realized is, if we really want to create that culture of connection, if we want to be a relatable leader, we've got to start back at the basics. And that's what all of the research showed. So I did my own study, and all of the things that people are looking for, those things are on the list. All of that kind of higher level emotional intelligence from leadership is all on the list, but it's so much further down because we're not there yet. And that's really where a relatable leader goes back to. And I love it for especially emerging leaders, because they weren't taught. All of a sudden you're leading a team and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. And so they're thinking, I need to be vulnerable and authentic. Well, no, we need to start with trust and respect and communication. So that's really the genesis of the book, is getting people back to basics. And it's that human connection on a very basic level of, you need these foundational principles or we're not going anywhere. And everybody is going somewhere.
What are a few of those key basics, key foundational?
Yeah,
ideas?
well, the one that surprised the heck out of me was the number one, all generations. So we broke it down with generations, and it was respect. People are looking for respect. And, I say it all the time. I'm like, I thought that was a given. I thought that was kind of a basic principle, but kind of what you said before, if people are saying you're so relatable, it's likely could possibly be because they don't feel relatable themselves. Well, it's the same thing when you are saying, this is what I want out of a leader. 90% of the time, it's because they're not getting it. Yeah. They're asking for what they need because it's not there.
Yeah.
And so for me, I looked at that and I was like, oh, I need to write this and remind people of we're not there yet. We're not.
I'm the classic armchair psychologist, but it's like, it's a projection, right? And it's like, if you really listen, and there you go again, Rachel, you were listening. What you were hearing was that there was this that needed, and there you go and do your research and you get smart about it and you write a book. And do you have a keynote that accompanies this? Do you have a new keynote, or are you folding in the new concepts to it, to exist?
No, it's a completely different keynote. So I have kind of relatable, which is more about the team building and interconnection there. And then I have relatable leader, which is just for leadership, and it's all based on the research. And so, yeah, I debuted that, I want to say like 6 months ago.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's exciting.
Yeah.
And a lot of fun too.
It's interesting because while we can break it down by generation, there are those emerging leaders or existing leaders that they're on the cusp, right? They straddle a few generations, right? And so there's the blend and there's a little bit of that fusion, if you will. Do you find that happens?
Oh, 100%. And, what the interesting thing too is with the data is that there was so much similarity. There was more similarity than there were differences when you really did break it down by generation. The nuances were, obviously this isn't going to be surprising that the younger generations, they don't want to talk to you in person or on video. They want to do it via text or Slack. But for the most part, and I think that's the coolest thing of it, is that from a foundational principle, we're all looking for the same thing. We're all looking to be respected and seen and heard and communicated with, and we look to trust people. And And I think there's so much of that missing in today's leadership. And some of it is not their fault because they were never shown how to show that and how to create that because they've
Yeah.
just been put in these positions and then moved along. And all of a sudden you're, 50 something years old and you're like, I've been a leader for like 10 years and I still don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Because I
Right.
know I
And
looked back on that and I'm like, poof,
right.
could've done that better.
And some have that ability and the skill to, find their way, find their footing. But boy, would it have been a different story if there was some guidance, some direction, some foundation, some basic principles that, were offered and people could, glom onto,
Yeah,
Uh,
would have been nice.
yeah, it would have been nice.